Connecting the diaspora abroad and at home. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story. Time now for both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on both sides of the story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Gleaner's website, www.the-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or novex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106 at live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have two ears and one mouth, so we can listen much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere, ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
The road ahead is empty. It's paved with miles of the unknown. Whatever seems to be your destination, take life the way it comes.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow. This is actually. Hold on. Hold on.
Raindrops on your windscreen, they fall from heaven or from hell. You drive into the light or into darkness, uncertainty as your guide. The road ahead will never give away the promise. Oh, the road ahead is a highway or a dead street. Oh, the road ahead never answers any questions. And nothing is sure, not even tomorrow. We don't know the road ahead is empty. It's paved with miles of the unknown. Whatever seems to be your destination, take life the way it comes. Take life the way it is.
We started out this afternoon with the poetry of Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken, and completed that with the song The Road Ahead by City to City. Just in case you haven't been paying attention to the lyrics, the road ahead is empty. It's paved with miles of the unknown. We don't know what lies ahead. We might have an idea of something, but not able to sequentially roll out exactly what will happen on the road ahead. And that's because it's paved with miles of the unknown. And so we're urged by City to City, the group, that whatever seems to be our destination, we should take life the way it comes, take life the way it is. The next verse says, horizon in the distance, so close and yet so far away. How many times have we been within touching distance of home, but it just seems like forever to get home? Horizon in the distance, so close and yet so far away. You shouldn't be surprised when on arrival, the dream has flown away. So whatever we were hoping to achieve by moving from point A to point B, by the time we get to point B, it becomes obvious that this thing we were pursuing will not happen. The dream has flown away, and fear is not here to stay. So we might be fearful to a point and for a time, but after a while, the fear goes. The road ahead never gives away the promise. In other words, you're not going to get a telegram from the road ahead, or a text message, or a WhatsApp message, or a call to say, all right, this is what is going to happen by the time you get to this section of the roadway. The road ahead never gives away the promise. So that will remain a secret until you get to that section when something happens or unfolds right before your eyes. The road ahead never gives away the promise. The road ahead is a highway or a dead end stream. A dead end stream. The road ahead is a highway or a dead end stream. So we can use the road ahead with a view to enjoying the ride, as it were, enjoying the motorway. So it can either be that or it can end up being a dead end stream. Sometimes you know how it is on the roads, you make the wrong turn and you find you're at a dead end as opposed to a continuing segment of that road network. Raindrops, next verse, raindrops on your windscreen. Raindrops on your windscreen. They fall from heaven or from hell. So we don't know what that is. Raindrops on your windscreen. We all know that the rain falls on the good and the bad. But raindrops on your windscreen, they fall from heaven or from hell. It could cause something good to happen or something bad to happen. You drive into the light or into darkness. So look at it. As you drive along, things are getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Or as you drive along, the atmosphere gets darker and darker and darker. Uncertainty as your guide. Nobody knows what lies ahead, whether light or darkness. The road ahead never gives away the promise. The road ahead is a highway or a dead-end stream. The road ahead never answers any questions, and nothing is sure along the way, not even tomorrow. What if tomorrow never comes? That's another song. And nothing is sure along the way, not even tomorrow, with miles of the unknown ahead of you. The road ahead is empty. It's paved with miles of the unknown. Whatever seems to be your destination, take life the way it comes. Take life the way it is. Our condolences to those who have tragically perished in road crashes and collisions over the last couple of days, and even before that, but in particular these last few days. It's another reminder of what is man? It's a reminder that nothing in this life is guaranteed, not even life itself. And the least we can do is to make the right choices, although that's not a guarantee either. We could go on. Let's break here and come back.
Walk into Marjan's Pharmacy and you will feel better. The service is clearly different. Marjan's Pharmacy, code 876-703-6335. The time by Marjan's Pharmacy is 2:15. Farming today is becoming more technologically driven. No wonder Jacto farming equipment has the cutting edge. With Jacto, you are guaranteed sprayers that are durable, user-friendly, low maintenance, have controlled application, efficient and practical. Call Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica at 876-757-0022 and inquire about our Jacto manual and battery-operated sprayers and our tractor-mounted boom and cannon sprayers.
And so we commend to you the lyrics of these two pieces. One, the poetry of Robert Frost. On the one hand, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. And on the other hand, The Road Ahead by City to City, the group City to City. We've also had some fatalities over these past few days as well. A most dramatic scene it was apparently at Portmore Pines, JN Bank, Portmore Pines. A security guard killed as robbers escaped with $10 million in Portmore. Story is gunmen got away with about $10 million in cash in a daring mid-morning robbery in which a security guard was killed and two others injured. Now, we're not into the business of I told you so, except to say, remember, we got an indication that because of the drying up of funds on account of the clampdown on scamming, for example, a collaborative effort of the United States of America government and the government of Jamaica through their security services. We also have seen the interception of a lot of cocaine intended to pass through or to be shipped through Jamaica as a transshipment point. And so there's a shortage of funds for a number of the gangs and those with illicit intent. Very little for them. So their solution is to rob, plunder, murder, and capture whatever resources that can keep them going. Remember, we have talked about this on this program, that we were going to see more robberies across the country. And we're still seeing it since we raised that subject on this program some months ago. It means we have to be smarter. We have to be more scientific, meticulous, and design-oriented in our approach. There's a lot of work to be done in that regard. A lot of work to be done in that regard. And so we greet you well. Let's do it the way we usually do. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, that one proving to be problematic here in Jamaica. I found myself saying as well, sadly, maybe I shouldn't repeat it, but it's one of those facts of life. All of us as young people, as children, have made what people would regard as mistakes, lots of them. We've done some of the wrong things, some bad things, some things that we later on in life live to regret. And that takes us back to that phrase, that turn of phrase that we love to use on this program about protecting man from himself. I used to hear my mother say of children don't know them danger. And as big as these young men are who sadly perished. As big as they are, they're in their youthful years. They're still quite youthful. And we know that the maturity of boys is such that it takes a while longer for boys to get to that stage of maturity. And it's on the face of it, you'd say, Lord, the whole of them are troublemaker and them bad and so on. Not necessarily, not necessarily so, not necessarily so, but which is why those of us who are their guardians or parents or friends or colleagues or neighbors, the hope is that we are helping to empower them, helping them to recognize that there is so much more to be done, and that you don't try to pack in all the fun in 1 hour, in one day, in 1 week, in 1 month, in 1 year. Let's try not to pack it in all at once. Let's over time enjoy our youth. And as the good book tells us, remember thy Creator in the days of your youth. Again, condolences to the families who are hurting at this time. And we trust that more of us will surround our young people who go through different phases. It's been this way for some time. But with more help and support from the rest of us, they should be able to better manage the stresses of their youth and youthfulness. And so it's to the wheel. Let's put our shoulders to the wheel and continue to play our part in helping those we can while we can. How about that? Yeah. Let us do our best in that regard. Right. So it's the decade of action for road safety, and 2022 marks the start of the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 27th day of the second month of the 2023, the International Year of Millets. A millet is a cereal grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. It's Independence Day in the Dominican Republic and the penultimate day of Heart Month and Reggae Month here in Jamaica. In fact, today is supposed to be Jamaica Day, but I would imagine that changes depending on what's on the calendar, especially depending on when uh, when Easter falls. Hoy es lunes, el 27 de febrero 2023, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 27 février 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez, que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Monday, the 27th of February, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
With miles of the unknown, whatever seems to be your destination, take life the way it comes, take life the way it is.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those of you who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States or the United Kingdom. If you're in the US and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook and the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, there's always YouTube. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. And then you need connectivity, internet connectivity. You can test for that by opening a browser like Google Chrome, for example. If you're able to browse, you're good to go. If not, you're going to need some help. Stand by for today's edition of Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30.
RJR, Galena Group.
It's a cross-country invasion.
Morning Agenda with host Julian Quarry focuses on the parish of St. Thomas at the Health Center Hampton Court, Thursday, March 2 from 7 to 9 a.m. as the RJR Galena Group continues its cross-country tour. Tune in as the team shares the success stories and issues facing the parish, as well as speak to our cross-country tour partners. This broadcast is brought to you by the Population and Housing Census. You count, we count, honor, we count. In association with Caribbean Dreams, Sunshine Snacks, Access Financial, Link, The Gardening Group, Digicel Foundation, H&L Rapid True Value and H&L Agro, Tranga Tonic Wine, Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Gateway Cooperative Credit Union, Development Development Bank of Jamaica, and QNOR. There's a retirement crisis in Jamaica, with only approximately 10% of the working population saving towards retirement. Many people do not participate in a formal pension plan, such as contract workers and the self-employed, and some are not eligible for a government pension. Every member of the workforce has the opportunity to participate in a pension plan and secure a monthly income for their retirement. Join Real Business every Monday at 9:30 a.m. for an informative discussion with Peter Rose Hall, Managing Director of BPM Financial, discussing the importance of retirement planning and the solutions to move Jamaica out of this crisis. Retirement Wealth Creation is brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5, 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876-387-3183, 876-387-3183. That's the Land Solutions text line, same as the WhatsApp number. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Let's see. Let's just bring this up a bit here. The Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead, make an appointment, ask questions, and then you will be directed accordingly. And the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company, offering legal services on a daily basis. There's a lawyer is always on duty. However, there's a special emphasis on the period of 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on a Thursday at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. That is more like a legal clinic in a sense, every Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. In a moment, it will be time for your host on today's edition of Land Solutions, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Land Solutions. We're here to give solutions to your land problems. So any problem you may have, please give me a call, 922-411-325, or send me a text or WhatsApp message to 876-387-3183, 876-387-3183. And remember, you can send me an email at gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. But the WhatsApp line or the text 876-387-3183. And remember, if you want help in getting a title, just WhatsApp me a message. Just say title. So 387-3183. And I will be in the Ocharios office, God willing, on Thursday. On Thursday, I'll be in the Ocharios office between 10 and 1. Or as late as I need to be, because sometimes I have to be later depending on how many persons come in. But please, give me a call now with your any issue in relation to land, 922-411-325. And immediately to the text line. My husband died without a will. He had 2 sons, and one wanted property to put in a trust. I do not want that. They are 46 and 56 years old. So your husband died, leaving you and 2 children. He died what we call intestate, which means that he did not make a will. What that means is that half of this property is yours, and half will belong to the 2 boys. Quarter for one, quarter for the other, and a half is yours. You're the one who would apply to administer the estate. And therefore, as such, you have the right to you could sell the property if you want, but they can't force you to set up a trust. They can't force you to set up a trust. That is up to you. So you need maybe to have a discussion with them. And if you want the property, maybe you should decide that you will buy them out. So you could decide that you're going to buy their interest in the property, or ask them to buy you out if you are not interested. But they can't force you to establish a trust. They can do a trust for their share, for their but it's the one who is interested in his quarter. But they can't force you. But I take this opportunity to encourage persons to make your will, because sometimes the way the property is shared is not how we want it to be. Yes, Dervan.
Hi, Ms. Brown. We have a caller for you.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I want to ask you 2 questions. The first question is about Portmore, you see?
Yes.
Now, I'm a resident in Portmore, right? You buy a house over there, cash. And when you bought the house and it went through the proper channels with the lawyers and stuff, you get your title of the house. But when you get your title, there's a piece of house property on it that was built on it. And now we're living in Portmore. They're sending us a paper that you have to regularize what they call the breach on your property.
Yes,
is that legal?
Yes, it is. It is.
Legal.
Yes. Which is why I say to my clients, even with the clients, when clients buy property, a lot of times you say to them, you need to survey it. You need to get it valued, and they don't want to. But I'm insisting with my clients that they must survey the properties. Because you have bought it, you have bought it with the breach, so it's your responsibility now to correct. But a lot of times, because we're not borrowing from the bank, we don't go and do any surveyor's reports. And all the cash comes yes, because you're buying cash, you didn't bother with a survey.
Okay, now I want to ask you this now. Why is it that the system that we live in Jamaica, why is it that they can't go into places like Tivoli Gardens, Arnett Gardens, and Rima to do such breach law? Why they can't go into these communities? Why is only Portmore there and communities like this the government targeting?
Sir, why do you think it is that JPS charge us for those who they can't collect from?
I can hardly hear you, please.
I say, why do you JPS charges you for who they can't collect from?
Okay. So it's all they can collect from the targeting.
Of course, sir. Yeah.
Second question I ask you, see?
Yes, sir.
Is there enough land, in your opinion, in Jamaica to satisfy all the people who living in rent house right now?
I guess enough house. Enough land, because you realize that we're going up 10 stories and 15 stories now, so it's enough land. But can they afford it? Do they want it? And is it located where they want it to be located? A lot of questions.
Oh, so the housing check is serving the population of our country adequately to the revenue that they are collecting?
think so.
I think so.
I don't think so, sir, because the average person is paying house insurance, sir, because no house is being sold for that.
Also, you're qualified to pay, but you're not qualified for a house.
Well, it's not. They don't for a house and they can't find a house for the amount you're qualified for.
Don't you think that the government should be doing something about that?
Well, we don't. It's a part of the social responsibility of any government to make sure that the community is properly housed, because housing is a necessity.
And don't you think it will help us with the high inflation that is going on to make us have a better lifestyle?
Well, there's so much. Another thing, we're gonna have to look at how we are building as well, because I suspect that we can a lot of the expense in terms of building. You don't have to compromise quality, but I just feel that the units are too much. The average teacher can't afford a $15 million house. The average nurse. That's why they are running away.
So therefore, land solution in terms of our problem. Don't you see land as a good solution for our social ills that we have on the ground?
Yes, it does, sir. But as I've always said to persons, except for the white-collar criminals, if you go and do a survey of the people in the prison, most of them do have a title. Because you have ownership of a piece of the rock, it gives you a sense of social stability and belonging.
So it will cut our crime problem.
That sense of responsibility. So I think we need to look at a lot of little things different. When a man he's so busy trying to make the money that he have no time to do a lot of the other things.
Okay.
But the devil find work for idols, sir.
So simply put, my last question. The government can do a better job in terms of land distribution in Jamaica for the population through the housing trust.
I'm not sure about land distribution through the housing trust responsibility, but government has a lot of land that is not being used, that they probably need to look to see how they can put some of that into social housing.
Because I see the government taking 11.5 billion every year for the last 5 years out of the housing trust. Don't you think that it would be good if the government could give back the housing trust land for this money?
I would think that's a very good idea, sir.
Thank you very much for your land solution problem.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you very much. Dervan, may your program continue until life in perpetuity.
Thank you.
Some very, very interesting questions asked by the gentleman. I think he has his hands on the pulse, really. I think it's a very good idea that taking the money out of housing trust, the government could give them some land, because the government has a lot of land, more than they. I know when I was working somewhere else, we were trying to do an inventory of government land. So many times persons will write and say, I would love to get a piece of this land owned by the government, and the government has nothing on record to show that they are the owners. So maybe really look at it. The gentleman has a good idea. Maybe we really should look at a swap. Take your money and give us some land so we can build, and we'll look and see what is happening around town now. The many high-rise buildings. So a little piece of land can give maybe a good 40, 50 contributors a unit in a high-rise structure. So a lot of things we need to look at. But in our cities where persons can't even bathe in peace. So have to look at a lot of things and revisit a lot of things and see how we can change, even if a mindset of how people think. So the conditions, I was looking at something somebody was talking about, some skills. I think Dervan wanted to take a break, and as soon as I come back, I'll continue. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness. Your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-411225 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's Powering Your Health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. This and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4113 to 5. 876 922 4113 to 5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your WhatsApp messages, but you can also send your text messages. And the number is 876 387 3183. 876 387 3183. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company: 876 908 1950 or 876 908 3518. If you wish to call the Ocho Rios office directly, that number is 876 974 6083. 876 974 6083. And the lawyers are on the job every day at the law firm, the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. But there's what you would perhaps refer to as a legal clinic in a sense, with the senior attorneys of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company. And that period is on a Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. From 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. Every Thursday, we have at least a senior lawyer, at least one senior attorney on location to help you with whatever land solutions you seek. And so we commend these contact details to you and encourage you to take advantage. The text line, once again, 876-387-3183. That's a text line for Land Solutions. And then the call-in numbers, 876-922-4113 to 5. 876-922-4113 to 5. Let's return to Attorney at Law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Remember the numbers to call: 922-411325, and the text line is 387-3183. So you can send me a text message or a WhatsApp message, and if you want a title, I've seen the request for one. If you want a title, just send me a message. All you have to do is send me a WhatsApp message, and all you have to do is say title, and I will give you the guidance on how to get that title. Just send the message to 387-3183. 387-3183. And I was talking earlier about the whole social condition under which persons live, and a lot of it is affecting how persons view themselves, how they behave. Because if you just go to certain places and see how some persons behave, it's not even that they are rude, it's just that a lot of times that is their norm. They don't believe that there's any difference. Which is why I'm one of the advocates who feels that, for example, children in inner city should never be sent to the schools in the inner city. They should be bussed out so they can see a different type of mindset. I remember some years ago there was something that said that a lot of students were seeing crossroads for the first time. And there were children from downtown who were seeing crossroads for the first time. Many of them have not been outside of Kingston. They don't know that there's another way that people live differently. So they think a lot of they are different. It's the same thing with people in country areas too. Sometimes they don't realize that there's a different way to live. So even though Jamaica is so small, there are so many different Jamaicas in this little space. So first of all, I'm one of those who advocate that no new school should be built. I feel that they need to stop building. They can build primary school, but no new high school should be built in Jamaica. That's my belief. get the good high schools. I went down to Westwood, one of the top schools in Jamaica the other day, and when I saw the massive plant, and there were about 600 and odd kids, I think all the schools that are on top should be given another 1,000 children, maybe, and give them another VP. So those top schools like the St. Jago that is surrounded by so much land, give them another 1,000 students. Because a lot of time we send some children into some spaces that we call schools that make them think very little of themselves. Send them for another school that's a different mindset. The same thing with the housing. And before the break, I was talking about when some flush toilets, as we call them, were put into some schools. The children would want they use the floor. They were afraid of the water in Jamaica. They were afraid when the water flushed, they would wonder what would happen when they start over this thing of water. So a lot of them did their number 1 and number 2 on the floor. One of the biggest pieces in Jamaica right now is the condition of the school bathrooms all over, no matter what the school is. Children don't know that the bathroom must be flushed. So I'm just following on what the caller said earlier, that a lot of the things that it's not just one thing driving the crime, and it's not just scamming, or it's not just gang warfare. A lot of people, you can how many gang leaders have come out of some of these top 10 schools? When you send us to some of these schools, man, you take away our self-worth. It's a reality. And personally, I say that I am missing some school, but when you look at this, when you look at the standing that the Ministry of Education put out the other day in terms of the ranking of the schools, some schools are 1% ranking, some schools are 100%, 99, 95. Who are you going to compare? What hope you're giving my child when you send him to a school with 1%? And that's the reality. And when my child passed for the 1%, because I'm a lawyer and I have contacts, I can get him into an 80% school or a 90 or to my alma mater. You know, so it's a lot of things, sir. And I'm really glad for your call. I know it's a land solution thing I'm talking about, but as I've always said on the program, it doesn't make sense for us to work hard for the land and leaving it for idiots. Living for people, children who cannot even think, who somebody can scam them out of it, or they gamble out of it, or somebody whisper or smile at them, or a lady wink at them, and before you look around your hard-earned investment that you spend night and day. So we have to be raising confident children. And everybody doesn't have to become lawyers and doctors, you know, because many of us lawyers and doctors, we have to fight to find a good mechanic. Okay, and we can easily find another lawyer easier. We don't have to become lawyers. We can easily find another lawyer where I can't find a good plumber. So the children can get these excellent skills that as soon as they get a skill and can drive a trailer, Canada asking for them. As soon as they can lay some tiles. So those are excellent skills. But not even those I see a lot of the schools that should be passing on those skills. Not even the children leaving out, they can't even read. We have a problem. We have a problem. And a lot of the social problems go right back to the schools. When you send me to a school and I don't see any hope and I want to hear the 2 children pass 5 subjects are over, why should I be one of those when I came in there could hardly read? A lot of it. And I'm saying to the parents and the grandparents, while we are busy building the house, let us try to build the life of the grandchildren. So we don't, our legacy is not lost before we are even cold in our graves, before we even get warm in the graves, before we even thaw out. Let us try to raise some children and stop allowing the cell phones to raise them. The best babysitter these days is a tablet and a cell phone because we don't have to talk to the children and we know they are in what we feel is a safe space, and a lot of them is space they're in is dangerous. So a lot to be done. A lot to be done. The number to call 922-411-325, and the text line, you can send me a text message 387-3183. Gloria at landsolutions.ja.com. Gloria at landsolutions.ja.com is the email address. You can send me an email or just give me a call on radio now, 922-411-325. I really came on the program with the agenda this afternoon to talk to persons about protecting your land. But my caller threw me off a bit in terms of that. It was a good opportunity. But I wanted to tell persons to protect your property, protect your boundary. The good thing about Jamaica is that, and persons talk about it, I heard something the other day that country in the world that's wasting most food. You just have to go under any apple tree, any mango tree, and you see more mangoes. Sometimes I put some of my neighbors close to us could get some of these trees. If I could just pick up some of them, I would pass them right to our neighbors next door to Jamaica. So when you go under any apple tree, any coffee tree, anything, there are so many seedlings. So I'm saying to some of us, we have the land, and you know that you don't know what you're going to do with it later on, but it's just there. What about planting it full of fruit trees? If you don't want them later on, you probably can cut them down. But how about getting some suckers for orange and some mango or the trees, aki, and just plant it up? Because a lot of times when persons see your land well fruited, they won't want to sort on it, Also, what about planting them right around the boundary so the neighbors know that all that line of aki tree or jackfruit tree or whatever is yours. You just have to pass anywhere on the roadside and you find seedlings like coffee, aki, mango, apples. I'm encouraging you. You have a piece of land in the country that the grandparents left. Before squatters take it over, plant it out with fruit trees. You have nothing to lose. Also, you can put a caveat on your property. So if anybody wants to go after it, and you can put a caveat even though it's your property or your grandfather's property or the great-grandmother's property. Put a caveat on it, and a caveat is a block. When you put that block on it, if anybody wants to do anything with that property, then you will be advised. Because I've said on this program before that there's a land grab taking place in Jamaica, and we have to protect our family properties. Persons are not even afraid now to bulldoze down the old graves that they see on the properties. That's the stage we're at. They're not afraid to move the fence posts or the markers, the survey pegs. So we have to protect the legacy, protect what our grandparents and great-grandparents worked so hard to achieve. Because they never had life as easy as we do now, They struggled. Many of them could not even read or write. Many of them just coming out of slavery. So my encouragement to us is protect the property. You can also put a mortgage on your property, and that's one of the best things. Get a mortgage on your property. And that's one of the best ways to protect your properties. Because the persons can't go after it like that. But I'm encouraging my listeners. Protect the property. Don't sit down and say I'm paying the taxes. I'm tired of telling persons that cannot protect your land. Taxes, as I said to my clients all the time, that doesn't count. So don't sit down and say I'm paying the taxes so I'm secure. If you pay my taxes, you can't get my land. What is important is what is happening on the land, who is on it. So those listening to abroad, it's not enough for you to say you're paying your taxes. Because when somebody is going to acquire your property by adverse possession or squatter's rights, they'll be happy to see that the taxes are already paid up because they don't have any to pay up when they are applying to cancel your title. You need to know what is happening on the ground in relation to your property. There's an agent in the community. Send them a little money every year and say bush the land or tend to the fruit trees I put on it, etc. And every now and then come to visit the property. Somebody told me that what somebody told them to do was to put up a no trespassing sign and get a copy of the newspaper for that day. And then somebody take a picture of you with the newspaper and that will show you visited the property that day. It's a lot of things. And I'll continue that a little bit after the break. This is Land Solution.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
You're listening to Power 106 FM.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call for those who have questions, land-related issues, land-related matters. 876-922-4113 to 5. 876-922-4113 to 5. The text line is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. In fact, that's also the WhatsApp number. So it's both the text line and the WhatsApp number available to you. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. That's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up at the offices of Brown, Findley and Company. You also should know that there is a lawyer on duty every single day, every single work day of the week. And you should also know that there's a special legal clinic, we have to call it, because a lawyer is on duty every day anyway. But on a Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon, special attention is focused on helping clients and potential clients to resolve whatever land issues they are having. And so please make a note of that. In fact, you can call the Ocho Rios offices of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company directly, 876-974-6083, 876-974-6083. And then there are the usual numbers, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Remember the numbers to call 922-411-325 and the text line 387-3183. Someone is asking if I survey land. No, I don't. You need to find a commissioned land surveyor, and you could just go online and research commissioned land surveyors in Jamaica and maybe find one with an address nearest to the property that you are trying to get surveyed. But you have a number of them, and there's also a listing of them. So you could just look for land surveyors in Jamaica and you'll find a listing with all these surveyors. The number to call 922-411-325 and the text line is 387-3183. 387-3183. So before the break, I was talking and I was saying that someone told me that what they were encouraged to do was to every now and then to get a no trespassing sign put up on your land and go on the land, and while doing some work on it, maybe for the best time, that might be a good idea, take some photographs, but also have the current day's newspaper with you and use that, put that as part of the photograph or part of the video, because that would show that you have visited the property on such and such a date. But don't just feel that you can leave your property like that. I've said to persons all the time that even if your mother is left on your property, it might suit you to have mama sign something. Because mama might not take the property, but mama might be there all this time when mama passes, and the other brothers and sisters could say the land was mama's by adverse possession. So when mama died, it belonged to all her children. And then you and your siblings will be in court fighting over all of it. So one of the challenges I have is that as a people, we're very, very informal. We're very informal in that we just, things going well for now, so we just say, things are right. We don't have no problems. Our brother man will, so we don't have to do anything until brother passes and we realize that we cannot deal with our nieces and nephews because they inform you that it was their father's property. Because there always comes a Pharaoh who did not know Joseph. And then we run into problems. So I'm encouraging us, let us be more formal. And a part of the whole formality here is to get a title for the property. We are not getting titles for our properties. And there are provisions to get that done. And I'm encouraging my clients, constantly encouraging the clients. Do not wait until you have a problem. Okay, as I've said on the program quite a few times, I've become a firewoman because all I'm doing is putting out fires. And I love when the clients come to me before the fire starts. So how about surveying your property today? How about finding a commissioned land surveyor in your area and ask the surveyor to survey your property? Because even if the diagram expires, has expired when you come to me, at least I can start the process and a surveyor can go and update the diagram for you in no time. It's not a fresh survey unless the boundaries have changed, which is what I'm saying as well. Protect our boundaries. Sometimes we can't help it. Sometimes the boundaries change and we don't have anything to do with it. For example, a lot of the people out at the east in St. Thomas and some in Clarendon, where the highways are now going up. And remember, a lot of you are not going to get any compensation for those lands because you don't have any title to show. And many of you can't show a title again because you can't find your boundary again because the tractors have gone in and dug out all the markers or the boundaries. You don't even know where in the middle of the road your land would have been. If you had a survey diagram, even an old one, that would have helped. So many persons will never get compensation. Many of the persons on the North Coast Highway that went through Threadways and all of those places, many of them will never get $1. Because even though they were there and it's grandparents' land, they have nothing to show any connection or to claim those properties. We see that all the time in the Bauxite land. The Bauxite take persons' land, resettle them, and they're saying to them, we're not giving you a title for the new resettlement land unless you can give us a title for the one you gave us, even though they have taken the land already and they have mined it out. They are saying, okay, we will not give you a title unless you can give us one for what we have taken from you. So the titling thing is more than just to say I have a piece of paper. It's more than that. Which is why I'm encouraging you, my brothers and sisters, fellow Jamaicans, I'm encouraging you to get a title for the property, survey it, and just send me a message. All you have to do is to say to me title, and I will know what to tell you to do. The number to call, 922-411-225, and the email address, gloria@landsolutions.ja.com. And hi, Lenny. I've seen your message. Good to hear you. The number to call, 922-411-325. And the text line is 387-3183. 387-3183. And unless someone is saying that they have got the surveyor's ID report I requested. And remember, there's a difference between a surveyor's ID report and a survey diagram. If I'm going to do a title for you, even if the property has a title already, and I'm going to be doing a title for you for the entire property, you're claiming that adverse possession. What a pre-check plan is what we call it. All right, a survey plan. So, because there is a reason when you're doing an adverse possession application, even if you're acquiring the entire property, the referees want a pre-check plan, which I think is a little unreasonable. That is really, if you're claiming the entire property, a surveyor's ID report should suffice to show that the boundaries have not changed, but it is what it is. The number to call, 922-411-325, and the text line is 387-3183. Yes, so what I said I came to talk about today was really protecting your property. And what am I saying to you? I'm saying the most important way of protecting your property is to exercise some amount of ownership over it. You can lease it to me, you can farm it on my behalf. Make sure if you lease it, that you keep the lease updated. So the lease expires, get another lease in place or a rental agreement. And you can increase it every year by 7.5%. If you don't know how much to lease the property for, you can get a valuer who will be able to do that for you. A lot of the same companies that would value your property, they can give you an idea how much the property can attract for the rental or for lease. If the person has not paid you your lease for a certain period of time, you need to act upon it. Remember, if somebody does not pay you your rent for 12 years, they can own the property. So don't allow 12 years to pass in anything in relation to these matters. Take the matter to court, because suppose somebody hasn't paid you rent for 10 years and you take it to court, the 10 years will stop right away because the court action stops time running. That's something for you to know, please, for us to know. So I'm begging persons to please protect your property, protect your heritage. Don't come when it's too late. A lot of times we know how it is because of how we are as a violent country. Persons are sometimes afraid to go to certain areas, but that does not stop you from starting a court action, so time stops running. Bring an action. You don't know the names, bring an action against the occupiers of the property. You will always find process servers who will be willing to serve these documents for you. You can go and put it up on the door if you can't find the owner. But I'm begging persons, do not leave your heritage and let your heritage go to waste. The number to call 922-411-225. And remember, if you need a title, just send me a message. All you have to do is say title, and I will know what to do. I'm the only one paying the land tax out of 4 of us, brothers and sisters. They say I can own the land at a later date. I have the common law title. Persons can say anything. All right, that's the first thing we need to know. Persons can say anything. They can say that you must keep paying the taxes because first thing is what date is a later date? When is that? What is that? 2029 or 2039 or 49 or next week? That's not good enough. So if the siblings want you to get it, let them give it to you. No, but it can't just give you like that. You might have to go and deal with your father's estate. You might have to go get that will. Or if there's no will, then it will transfer to all 4 of you to you alone. But the word of mouth cannot say to yours. And the thing is, even if they say to yours and one of them should pass, their share will go to their children, their spouse and children. And what if the spouse and children say you are not to get their share? So it's not something that you leave to chance. It's something that you address at the immediate moment. So speak to your relatives. Speak to your relatives, your siblings, and if they are going to give it to you, ask them to put everything in trade now so you can get what you need to get. So you can get the land. And I'm encouraging persons do not go and build on land in a situation like this, because I tell persons when you build on family land, you are building family home. Because title is for land. Don't say the house is yours. The land is what counts. So whatever is on the land is going to be shared. I say that to persons as well. See, even if your relatives give you a house spot, make sure that you get a title before you start building. And remember this thing called house spot, a lot of times you won't be able to get a title for the house spot because the parish council might tell you that it is too small a piece of land for you to get a title. It's not that you can't get a title for you can. There's no size limit. But if you need to go to the parish council for a subdivision approval, the parish council might let you know that we do not allow persons to live on land that is less than maybe quarter acre or maybe 800 square meters. They might say we don't allow persons to live on land smaller than that in rural areas. And persons will complain and say, but in Portmore people live on, but as I always say, one of the biggest is the central Suez. In Portmore, they don't have to have a pit behind everybody's house. Imagine you have 1 acre of land and 20 people on it. That's 20 pits for sewage. And you know what that can mean. That's a lot. But we need to look at it as a family, but you know how we are. We really a lot of times don't get on as well as we should. Father bless a piece of land. We just take off a piece and just say that is going to be a pit. When it's full, all of us will come together and empty it. So instead of us having 20 pits and a piece of land, we just make a massive proper soak-away system to be managed and to be manned and to be serviced by all of us. So that's some of the things we need to look at. There's so much we can look at as a people. We just need the proper leadership. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Your health is key to your wealth. Suffering from muscle, joint, neck, back, and other pain? The Rehabilitation Institute of the Caribbean, in association with Winchester MRI, Immune Active Denk, and Almighty Studios present Rehabilitation Now, a 30-minute feature on physical medicine and rehabilitation for persons overcoming pain or dysfunction from injury or disease that affects muscles, tendons, nerves, and joints. Rehabilitation Now with rehabilitation physician Dr. Paula Dawson and host Alicia Taylor airs every Friday at 3:30 p.m. during Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106. Free your body from aches and pain with Rehabilitation Now, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's the final segment of today's edition of Land Solutions. Here's your opportunity to get in your questions, have your issues addressed, and identify solutions possible. Now would be a good time because this segment of the program, this feature, will end in just about 13 minutes' time. So now would be a good time for you to call the numbers 876 922 4113 to 5. 876 922 4113 to 5. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number 876 387 3183. 876 387 3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. Those numbers to call, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. A lawyer is always on duty, Monday to Friday, at the law firm Brown, Findley and Company. But there's a special package on Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon, an opportunity to engage in discussions and other forms of conversations with senior attorneys at law at the law firm Brown, Findley and Company. And if you wish, you could call the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company in Ocho Rios directly, 876-974-6083, 876-974-6083. Once again, here's attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. And remember the numbers to call 922-411325. And the WhatsApp number 387-3183. 387-3183. And God willing, I'll be in Ocho Rios this Thursday. So by 10 o'clock. Okay, and thank Ricardo who says that he's learning so much. That's good. That's the aim of the program. The aim of the program is to have a village lawyer in every community. Okay, when we have knowledge, no one can trick us that easily, and that's a part of the problem with us as a people with lack knowledge in a lot of things. And it's very, very important that those of us who have the knowledge share it. Good afternoon, Miss Brown. I would like to write my will. I don't have much. I was told that if it's not done by a lawyer, it's not legal. That's why I didn't do it before. And I'm saying that is not true. You can buy a will form and write it yourself, especially if it's not complex, you don't have much. I leave all I have to my daughter. That's a will. The important thing is make sure you sign it, date it, and when you're signing it, you're doing it in the presence of two witnesses. So when you're signing the will, three persons must be there, you and two witnesses. The witnesses are witnessing your signature. They do not have any right to know what you have written in your will. Your will is private, so you can cover up all of it and ask them, could you please witness my signature? If they say, no, we're not signing any pushing back, then you find somebody else to do it. But nobody has the right to read your will. When I write wills in my office, I witness them along with maybe one of my colleagues. Whoever is witnessing it with me, they don't know what is in your will. I just say, could you please come and witness the will with me? I have written it. I will know what is there, but nobody else has to know. So you don't need a lawyer to write a will. If you can afford one, it's the best thing to do. And remember, we have a legal aid clinic at the Bethel Baptist Church. I was on Saturday. We have a legal aid clinic at the Bethel Baptist Church, 6 Hope Road in the heart of Apple Tree, just across from the supermarket, just a little above the clock. And $500 to pay a lawyer any Saturday morning. You come to write your will, to come to do. So we have no excuse. As the Bible said, thou art inexcusable, oh man. We have no excuse for not putting ourselves in the position we ought to be in. So I'm begging persons, I'm begging us. I beseech you, my brothers and sisters, write the will. Don't intend to write them, write them. I try to give a talk every now and then. I gave one at the Jericho Primary School last week, Thursday. Okay, I had a very, very good time with the staff yesterday, and also Jamaica Baptist Union just coming out of our 173rd General Assembly, a very, very good assembly, where the first female General Secretary, Mrs. Merlin Hyder Riley, was named General Secretary, the first female. And pray God's blessing on them and on our hard-working President, Reverend Benroy Lelo. And a lot of work to be done, we recognize. And one of the things that came out of the Reverend Lelo's message yesterday was he was talking about this attitude we have where everything and enough. And that's the attitude that I'm saying to person that we need to lose. Because you come and you ask persons, why don't you make a site? They don't need one site and enough, until it becomes something. And then realize that we have lost the property and we say injustice and we want justice. I'm asking us, let us use the justice that we have before we need the justice. Let us use the justice before we want the justice. And speaking of justice, I'm really want to express my deepest condolences to the fellow JPs and the family and friends of Mrs. Lucille Bryan and Shirley from Cedar Valley in Cyberville, who passed on yesterday. I know a lot of persons would have known her. She was a postmistress or postmaster for years at the Spanish Town Post Office. Miss Shirley Lucille Bryan made her transition yesterday, and my condolences to Leo, who I know never misses the program. Okay, to Charlery, to Hyman, to Murphy, to Mark, to all the boys. Having lost a wonderful mother. The number to call 922-411-325 and the text line 387-3183. And again, we have the same challenge. There's one person saying they're trying to call. Not sure what is happening. 876-922-411-325. I'm not sure what is happening there, why you can't get through. But you can send me a text message to 876-387-3183. Someone is asking what's the difference between a certified copy of a will and the original will. Well, a certified copy of a will, let's look at the title before. The original, the title, you have 3 different categories really, well, more than 3. But the original title cannot leave the title's office. So what they give you in your hand that you take to the bank is a duplicate. Not a photocopy, but a duplicate. It's identical to the original one that's at the title's office, except that the one at the title's office has something as a stamp on it to say original, not to be removed from title's office. But you can also go to the title's office and ask them to certify for a certified copy. And they will photocopy one and stamp to say this is certified that this is a true copy of the original. In terms of getting a certified copy of your will, I'm not sure who would be able to certify that. Because I have the feeling, well, a lot of times persons will say you can get a JP to certify, but I see that the only persons who should be able to certify a document is the organization that produced the document. So, for example, RGD can give a certified copy of a birth certificate. I don't know if a JP can legitimately certify. I know they do it all the time. But most times they say they want a certified copy of the will. Probably they want one that a JP will sign to say, I've looked at the original, this is an exact copy of it. But there's very little you can do with a certified copy of it. You can get an attested copy of it out of the court, where the court have been granted probate will sign to say it's a true copy of it, and then you can use that to do anything that you probate with the copy will. But I don't think anybody really should be able to sign your will and say, yes, this is certified to be a true copy. But JPs we can do that, and some persons will take that if it's done by a JP. My daughter's father bought house with his mom. Both names are on the title because he used to work overseas. He said he wanted to put her on it. But she was 3 years old. He died. She's now 36. She has been living with his mom from she was 1 year old. Now all her big children living there and trying to put out my daughter. How can I go about it? Wow. I need to see the title. And I'm not sure if your mom is still living. Because if your mom was a joint tenant with your daughter's father, and the father died before your mom, then the mom would own the property. So when mom died, the property would go to all of mom's children, including the son. So the son's daughter would get his share. Or the son's children will get the share. So I need a little bit more. But all I'm saying is like this. If they were joint tenants and mom died first, then it will be owned by your daughter's father. So it will just go to your daughter's father's children and spouse, the other spouse. If the daughter's father died before the mother and they were joint tenants, then it will go to the mother. When the mother died, it will go to all her children, including the son who has died. His children will get his share. So I would need to look at the title in order to advise you a little more. But what am I saying to my listeners this afternoon? I'm preaching the same that I've been preaching every week. I'm begging you, don't say I don't know. You don't need no title where people are doing with that as a piece of paper, like a Babylon system. I know the whole talk. I'm begging you, protect your heritage. Protect the heritage of your forefathers. The mother and the father and the grandparents and the great-grandparents who worked so hard. If you can't manage the property, I always say get it valued and sell it so you can buy something where you are living maybe abroad. But don't just leave it like that. If you don't want to sell it or about releasing it to somebody, and make sure they have proper lease agreement in place to say if you put up a concrete structure on it, when the lease is up, the structure is mine. Okay, put things like those. If you put concrete on it, when the lease is up, the person who leases it to you will own that building. That is a good clause to put in to make sure people don't put up buildings, because you know how indisciplined we are. And as usual, every week I keep saying the same thing, write the will. Don't wait until we are dying because we don't know where that is. Let us just write our will while the blood is running warm in our veins. And again, I express condolences to the family of Mrs. Lucilla Bryan, Miss Shirley from Stanbury Grove or Cedar Valley in Sligoville, St. Catherine, who passed on yesterday. And I want to encourage my listeners as well to keep on supporting us. Remember, if you want a title, just send me a message, just say title, and send that message to 387-3183. 387-3183. I want to say thanks to Dervan, thanks to Adrian, thanks to Paul, and thanks to you, my listeners, for continuing to support Land Solution. I see you on Thursday in Ocherios, my Ocherios line. God willing, have a good day.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30. Both sides of the story. Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling land? How much is your property worth? Tune in to Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
The road
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. On the heels of today's edition of Land Solutions with Attorney at Law Gloria Brown, happy to take the baton and move forward with further deliberations right here on both sides of the story. And we are anxious to hear more about a very timely seminar. It's the Jamaican Securities Industry Seminar, which is being hosted by the Mona School of Business and Management. And guess who is our guest? A gentleman, I thought he had retired. I thought that's what I heard. And I even said to him, "What are you talking about? What retirement? A youngster like you?" Well, he is. He has served as territory leader for PwC Jamaica. He is now. He was a few months now, a couple of months, appointed executive in residence at the Mona School of Business and Management, and we're happy to have him join us. He's Commander of the Order of Distinction, CD, late night CD. Good afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, my good friend Dervan, and to your listeners. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you on board with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, as we prepare our listeners for the upcoming Mona School of Business and Management Jamaican Security Seminar. First up, can you give us an idea of what it means to be an executive in residence at the Mona School of Business and Management?
Well, Dervan, that's a very wide job description.
Mm-hmm.
I am supposed to be a liaison between the university and the business community, all stakeholders. I do guest lectures, I assist the university in raising money or, financing, whatever part. I do mentorship, which, I like.
Yes.
So it's kind of a one-ended thing where, I'm there in office, students may come for guidance, even the lecturers, and I interact a lot with, the business community. In fact, the seminar, you'll see that we are doing it in collaboration with the private sector organization of Jamaica and Jamaica Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, it sounds.
Yeah,
sounds quite dynamic. Now, is it that you had planned this securities industry seminar some time ago, or is it happenstance or coincidence, or an intentional positioning of this this subject of securities, the securities industry?
I think it's a mix of everyone because, a lot has been happening in the industry, not any one incident. And, the Mona School of Business and Management, is an educational institution. And we just feel that it's time for us to try and educate as best as we can, the society or who we can about the securities industry. So it's a mix. It's as a result of a number of happenings over the last year that we think it will be timely to do it, to be fair.
Yeah. And what can you tell us with respect to how you have structured this Jamaican Security Industries seminar to achieve your objectives?
Well, we have looked at all the key stakeholders to do presentations. So, we'll have Mr. Richard Biles, who is the
Governor
of the Bank of Jamaica, now the chairman of the FSC. He will give his own remarks in terms of where he's at, from a regulator standpoint. We have Mr. Stephen Gooding, the president of the Security Dealers Association in Jamaica, who will also give, an overview of the industry, for people to understand it. We have Ms. Shirley Ann Eaton, who's an attorney at law and unit head at finance and accounting at Mona School of Business and Management. And she was speaking about, the existing regulatory framework, legal regulatory framework for security dealers and alternate models. We have a Dr. Twyla May Logan, She is an associate clinical professor at Florida International University, and she's presenting on business models and the risk faced by investors. We also have, Miss Antoinette McCain was appointed CEO of Jamaica Deposit Insurance Company. That's where you could get in to understand, what insurance you have when you invest in financial institutions.
Mm-hmm.
So she will do a presentation on the types of compensation schemes for deposit and non-deposit takers. And you'll hear from, Dr. David McBean, who's the head of Mona School of Business and Management. So it's fairly comprehensive. It's at the Pegasus starting at 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning.
Is there a theme you're working with for this seminar?
Theme,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you mentioned the theme already, and it's really understanding, understand the framework of the securities industry in Jamaica. That's what we're working with.
Yes.
Trying to get people to understand. It's a lot to understand there. But
yes. How common is it for the Mona School of Business and Management to put on seminars such as the one we're previewing now for Wednesday?
We have seminars sometimes. As you said, I'm just there since November, so I will not be able to articulate a very good history.
Right.
But I know as recent as late November, December, we did one which was done led by Senator Don Webby, a different kind of seminar it was, and it was open. But from time to time, Mona School of Business and Management will do seminars, and going forward, you'll see more of it.
Yes. What's the support like from related organizations? For example, those of a financial nature as well as those of a private sector nature. What kind of support is there for this seminar?
Well, as I said before, the private sector organization of Jamaica is one of our partners on this, and the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce. Many of those institutions are part of one or two. Also, as I mentioned, Stephen Gooden will be speaking, the president of the Deposit Takers, the Jamaica Dealers Association. So again, from that perspective, so we have covered everybody. We'll have students, we'll have lecturers. VM Wealth Management is a main sponsor, so they are on board. So I think we have a fair, broad-based audience that we are reaching out to. We did contact the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica, and they are giving what you call continued professional education hours if they attend the seminar.
Okay.
So we have tried to make it as broad-based as we can.
Right. So is it one of these events where we have to register, we have to pre-register in order for you to have a handle on the numbers and plan accordingly?
Well, we have, because it's a short time too, we are allowing people to turn up and register at the venue on Wednesday morning. We think we'll be able to deal with, the numbers.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
And the venue is, of course, the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel.
Yes, it's the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel.
On Wednesday. What are the hours? Sorry, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
The Mona School of Business on my website has information on it too.
Okay. So we can just go Google Mona School of Business.
Yes.
And we'll get the information.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'll pretty much give you the speakers, the time, the venue. The cost is $20,000. And we'll give people content material from the seminar at the end, and we'll have some kind of tokens too.
Yes, no doubt it will add value to their livelihood and their knowledge and awareness and
yes,
interest.
Dervan,
Yes,
because believe me, I mean, a lot of us are not aware of a lot of issues, and I think it's better to know. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people are operating, investing, and not understanding the risk, what the strategies, etc. And I think it's very important for the public stakeholders to really comprehend what investing fear of going for high risk, low risk, whatever. So it's a lot to learn because people invest for return, especially in these days for retirement and all of that. You
Yes.
don't want to get your retirement and then you don't have anything because, you never had the right investment strategy. And yes, they are professional and I always say that you go to professionals, but you should have at least a basic understanding of what you're getting into.
And I would imagine within those 3 hours, 9 a.m. to 12 noon, you're looking at an intense discussion, a series of presentations, etc., which should be quite dynamic. Looking at the the list of speakers and presenters.
Yes, Dervan, and what I'll always say, 3 hours, I mean, it's not something that you can make anybody an expert. But what it will do is at least let you know what you need to know and
Yes.
go and seek it. You understand? So
Right.
sometimes these seminars, gives you an indicator, as to where to go next.
Yes.
So I'm not going to pretend it's all inclusive where, when you leave the seminar, you're the best, investment expert. You understand?
Yes.
I think we just open your eyes and ears a bit to seek more knowledge if necessary.
Yes. And remind us who benefits from the two verifiable CPD credits.
Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica. Because, with the both profession, legal and accounts, I know that to maintain the currency of your knowledge, you have to do a minimum amount of what we call CP. Continual professional development, or some say CP, for education. So I know at ICHJ and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica and is a minimum of 40 hours because, realize in a profession, nothing remains static.
That's right.
The currency of your knowledge updated. Otherwise, you cannot maintain good standing as a member. So the credits are very important because, at least you may have, 2 or 3 of them out of the way.
Yeah. And so listeners, make a note, those of you who will be attending this Mona School of Business and Management. It's part of the 10th anniversary celebrations, is that it?
Yes, this year is really, it's actually for Mona School of Business. Yes, we are doing a number of things. Yes,
so this forms part of that.
Yeah, the Jimmy Solomon.
Oh, yes.
Lecture, as part of it. Yeah, Jimmy was also an executive management and Mona School of Business and Management.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a number of events that will be going on. And, as part of one of the leading universities in the world, top 1.5%, Mona School of Business and Management, we have, the responsibility to educate Jamaica in critical areas.
Yes.
This is just one such.
Excellent. And I see the website. For those who'd like to register, it's at bit.ly/securities seminar. So that's bit.ly/securities seminar. And as you said, Mr. McKnight, we can go to the Mona School of Business and Management website for more information, correct?
Yes, and you can turn up on Wednesday too.
Looking forward. Hope my schedule will allow me. But thank you.
So I'd love to see you. I know I'm going to see at another place for charity, but hope if you can.
All right, let's see what we can do about that. But thank you very much. Always a pleasure to talk with you, Edward.
Thank you to and your listeners. My pleasure.
It's
an honor.
Same here. Thank you. Take care, listeners. That's the executive in residence at the Mona School of Business and Management, Leighton McKnight, giving us a peek at the Jamaican Securities Industry Seminar happening on Wednesday morning, going up to midday. Wednesday morning at 9 to midday.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. RJR, Green Eye Group. Inside West Country Invasion.
Both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm focuses on the parish of St. Anne, live from the Total Gas Station in Ocho Rios, this Tuesday, February 28th from 2 to 5 p.m. as the RJR Gleaner Group continues its cross-country tour. Tune in for success stories and issues facing the parish, as well as hear from our cross-country tour partners. This broadcast is brought to you by the Population and Housing Census. You count, me count, all of we count. In association with Caribbean Dreams, Sunshine Snacks, Access Financial, Link, The Guardian Group, The Digital Foundation, H&L Rapid True Value, and H&L Agro. Drown Back Tonic Wine, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, Gateway Cooperative Credit Union, the Development Bank of Jamaica, Q-Mall, Manpower and Maintenance Services Group, and the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA.
It's a cross-country invasion. It's a cross-country invasion.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. And let's clear a few messages. Thank you very much for tuning in. Norman Hines in St. Thomas says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan Malcolm and listeners. Good afternoon, Norman Hines. Good to have you on board, as usual. Inez Ayona Campbell in Bridgeport, Connecticut, as the Americans say. How are things? How's the Also, Terry Salmon, good to see you online as well. Hello to you. Welcome. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. I'm here listening. Good to know you're listening, Faye Weller. Let's say hello as well to Cicilline Fowler. Cicilline Fowler. She says, hi, Dervan, blessings and favor to you. Thank you very much. And we wish the same for you as well. Sean Chambers, good afternoon to you. Asher Ash says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Nice to see you. Have a good day. Same to you, Asher Ash. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Thank you very much, Cherry Henry. Let's take more of your calls now on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. The numbers to call 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Here's a WhatsApp message. Good afternoon, Dervan. We made an impression. The guests and the children had a lovely afternoon. Looking forward to seeing you at the museum. Oh boy. What is this again now? This is from the Annie Byrne Museum. The curator had invited us to take a tour of the state-of-the-art museum, the theme being preserving our past. The location, Montpelier Housing Scheme in Yallis, St. Thomas. And persons were encouraged to call to make an appointment. Tours are available every day. You can call or WhatsApp 876-282-6584, 876-282-6584. And you can email queen.bdett@ymail.com. So it was the grand opening and the Black History Month celebration that was held yesterday, Sunday, the 26th of February, starting at 4 in the afternoon. Happy to have been able to read this post to help to spread the word. And as you have said here in your message, that you made an impression and the guests and the children had a lovely afternoon and that you're looking forward to seeing us at the museum. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing us too. Oh, let's see. All right. Un du séjour, as they say in French, one of these days. Paul Campbell says, greetings, Dervan. Please see information for the end of February 2023 celebrations, Black History and Jamaica Music Month, the preview of the story, the genesis of Jamaica sounds, and the untold story of Raigin, or The Harder They Come, by Sultan Ali Prince Buster son in an exclusive interview. Going down the line to clear the other messages, Crocs in Black River says, "Greetings. One of the surest signs of creeping authoritarianism is when a leader of a government stops being answerable or accountable to the people. What has happened to the post-cabinet press briefings? Or when last, who is this now? When last lady has His Excellency, when last lady has His Excellency, the Most Honorable Prime Minister, subjected himself to an at-large press conference? This, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Because this is reminding me right now, I remember it, Dion Jackson Miller and other journalists were leading the charge to uh, to to call for more press conferences, or at least a couple of wide-ranging press conferences when former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller was in office. So it happens. It has happened over uh, several administrations. At some point or another, for whatever reason, they not hearing enough, or not feeling as if, as a journalist or as journalists, you're being uh, denied an opportunity to ask outside of the rudimentary questions on a daily basis, but following up on certain significant matters of national interest, etc. So it's that time now for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to face the music in terms of such a press briefing or press briefings. And so that's what Crocs is essentially saying here. He says the only times when press conferences are held are when our masters want to issue dictates, such as when they're imposing restrictions during a state of emergency or during a pandemic. From Crocs in Black River. Well, by all means, Crocs and our fellow citizens all over Jamaica and the rest of the world, by all means, go ahead and press for action in that department. It's remember that quotation we often repeat on this program. Well, we want to invoke that quotation right now. We want to invoke that quotation right now. Who was it again? Was that one Murray Gerfin? I think I think it was Murray Gerfin. Let's see. But that's what we would invoke right now. Further to what Crocs is saying. Yes, Murray, Murray, the letter I dot Murray I Gerfin, Gurfein, Gerfin, Gurfein. He says a cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the right of the people to know. Murray I. Gerfin. A cantankerous press, an obstinate press, a ubiquitous press must be suffered by those in authority in order to preserve the right of the people to know. Here's a message from Rohan Johnson of Atlas in Ocho Rios saying, I'm encouraging all road users to make safety their number one priority while driving on the nation's roads. Coming from Rohan Johnson from Atlas Ocho Rios. Thank you for your message, a timely reminder, Rohan. Here's another message. Good afternoon, Mr. The accident, and remember, the United Nations has declared that we refer to these incidents as crashes and collisions, not accidents, because an accident is something that cannot be prevented. But these crashes and collisions can, in fact, be prevented. But anyway, the message as you have sent it to us. Good afternoon, Mr. The accident that happened with the bikers where 5 died. I noticed that no one is talking about the pothole that caused the accident. It would be interesting. Well, if no one talked about it, you wouldn't know about it. The information is out there. In fact, let me take myself away from this for the time being. Right. Uh, Potholes on Jamaican roads is nothing new. It's legendary. Our roads are legendary when it comes to potholes. And so many of us, whether we walk, ride, drive, or just generally move around in public spaces in Jamaica, especially on the road network, there are potholes. We just have to be careful in how we negotiate, how we seek to negotiate these potholes. So you want to always give yourself time and space. And mind you, there are times when you get neither time nor space. And some people will declare that it's the grace of God or the mercy of God that would have saved them. So we can't just leave it there. It's a multiplicity of hazards and issues. The rest of the message, can someone who lives there say how long that pothole has been there? I think it's about time we hold the government responsible for some of these crashes. Well, without a doubt, part of which is why we're saying part of the equation, of course, would have to be safer roads. And that is in terms of how the roads are constructed and the extent to which they provide a safe thoroughfare on the motorways of this country. It goes without saying, that's a part of it. We generally narrow it down to the individuals to say, and there is merit in that, because in the final analysis, it boils down to individuals, doesn't it? But there are different areas. The state has a duty to provide a safe network of roads. There's no question about that. Road users, which includes all of us, road users have a duty, have a responsibility to safely traverse the road network. The police have a duty as well to enforce the law, and so on and so forth. So it's all encompassing. One moment, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4 heures. Ciencia, TDN-le. CDN, that's what it is, CDN. 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go dash.com live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. The rest of this message switches gear or changes gear to make reference to the Subaru that was used in Portmore to do the robbery. Cameras in the plaza must have captured this. So why not post up the car for all to see? You never know. These can play out, and I'm advising the security to put the car on social media, says this message. Let's see if that is done and if that makes a difference. To the phone lines once again. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan, Malcolm. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm great so far. Only calling to say hi to you. How is everything going so far, Uncle Dervan?
Fine, thanks. And yours?
My day is going great so far. You are Mr. Intellectual and Mr. Educational.
You're always very kind with your expressions and accolades.
Yes, you're like a father for me. Every time when I call in on this show, it sounds like we always have a father and son conversation. You're like a father for me.
Thank you.
I will talk to you another time, Uncle Dervan, Malcolm. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, and the same to you.
Next time when I call in, I'm going to debate about gambling, okay?
All right.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Sir T. He says, good day, Dervan. To you too, Sir T. Robert Brady says, Dervan, what's the name of the song about I love you even when you are 100? You played last week on your program. Who was the singer? It's an old but wonderful song. I don't know. Sometimes listeners mix up the songs that they hear before the start of this program or towards the end of the previous program. So I don't, let me see. Hold on. Unless you are referring to, what was that song again? Unless you're referring to Frank Sinatra's Young at Heart. That's the only one that readily comes to mind now. Young at heart. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Along those lines. Right. Maybe that's the one. Young at Heart, Frank Sinatra's version. Let's go through the other messages. This one from Salah saying, good afternoon, Dervan. Dervan, there's a set of so-called comrades who are fighting the leadership of the PNP. They're trying hard to see that Mark Golding doesn't get elected. So they're using everything in their power to destroy the PNP. They're doing it because of their selfish minds. Could it be, Salah, that they will tell you that they are doing it not because they don't like individuals within the party, but because they love the party more and they want what is best for the party. They could argue that. Anyway, that's first half of your message. The rest of your message, they're the same set of one PNP that fight unsuccessfully against Portia Simpson Miller. The difference here, Portia Simpson Miller really got a lot of flack from persons both within and without her party. And she obviously had to be a strong woman to have survived that and more. But yes, there was that whenever they had the leadership campaign. I still remember those ads that were run on TV that were making her out to be less than she was as a leader, and yeah, but it comes with the territory. It's not. It's Politics is not. It's not a bed of roses, as everybody knows by now, and you have to roll with the punches and do what is right. Do what you believe is right, and history will do the rest. And the rest of the message. So he could have. Uh, the difference here is that Mark Golding is not as popular as Portia Simpson Miller was, so he could have a challenge here. But what they need is to challenge Mark for the leadership. I'm sure that they'll get a thrashing. I am Salah from Kingston. Thank you very much for your message, Salah from Kingston. And let's see, this one from Nelly, is it? Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I was looking for you on Saturday at Manchester High School. Well, I'm so sorry. Where was I on Saturday? Where was I on Saturday? Uh, as far as I can remember, running multiple errands on Saturday. After work ended at 9 in the morning, having started at 6. So sorry, we weren't able to join in the sports day activities in Manchester. Miss Nelly, maybe another time, who knows? We still have a lot more cross country activities to come. Let's see who else is messaging us. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Monday to you and your listeners. It was a good show to see the Governor General, the Prime Minister, and the Leader of the Opposition at the Jamaica Baptist Union Convention at the National Arena yesterday, sitting side by side. The sermon by the President, Reverend Glenroy Layla, was a powerful one. I do hope all three of them listened carefully to the message and do not allow those words to fall on deaf ears, but will lead the way by making a real change in this country. Clarky Bless, Hunstown, St. Mary. Thank you very much, Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary. Hello to Natalie Winter, who is also tuned in. Let's see what Natalie is saying. Natalie Winter says, hey, Dervan, great afternoon. Politics is politics, the same old story in both parties. Jamaica is watching and waiting. From Natalie in Washington Gardens. Thank you very much, Natalie in Washington Gardens, for your message. Is this another? Who is this? Let's go down the line. Oh, no. All right. All right. So keep those messages coming in. 876 922 4112 to 5 are the regular call-in lines. But if you wish to send us your text messages and your WhatsApp messages, we invite you to call 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. And Robert Brady confirms that Frank Sinatra's Young at Heart is the song he was referring to. Happy you found the song. Robert Brady, all the best. And let's see. Good afternoon to Grace Ann Dixon. Good to have you join us. Welcome on board. And all the very best to you as well. Thank you very much. And let's go across to a bit of history now. How is that? Let's share with you a bit of history that you might find interesting or pertinent. Some things have been happening in Jamaica for a long time, haven't they? So we could take you back to 1769. 1769 in Jamaica. On this day in 1769, Jamaica's first mass murderer, Captain Louis Hutchinson, made out a patent for a section of Concord Plantation in St. Anne. Captain Hutchinson claimed Concord Plantation was on his border. The claim remained until 1827 to be settled, but in 1785, 12 years after his death, one Jacob Bernal acquired Edinburgh Castle, comprising 1,795 acres, including Hutchinson's original 432 acres. But back to Captain Louis Hutchinson's title of being Jamaica's first mass murderer. Captain Louis Hutchinson, a Scotsman, owned 423 acres in the Pedro district, which he called Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh is spelled Edinburgh. Edinburgh Castle. Castle. He had a reputation of being an excellent marksman. About the late 1760s, tales of missing travelers began to circulate, but the only witnesses were Hutchinson's slaves, and in those days, a slave's word could not stand against that of a white man. Hutchinson apparently only killed men of his own color. Rumor became fact when Hutchinson wounded a neighbor, Dr. Hackett, who lived to tell the tale in 1771. So great was the fear of this reclusive Scot, Louis Hutchinson, that it took months to get a soldier to volunteer to arrest him. The soldier, one Calendar, was shot dead by a single bullet as soon as he approached the castle. Hutchinson now took flight, reached Old Harbor, put to sea in a canoe, was discovered by a posse sent by the British naval hero Admiral George Rodney. Hutchinson was subsequently captured, tried, and hanged in Spanish Town. And remember, pictures are hung, people are hanged. Pictures are hung, H-U-N-G. People are hanged, H-A-N-G-E-D. So Hutchinson was subsequently captured, tried, and hanged in Spanish Town on March 16, 1773. A search of Edinburgh Castle in St. Anne revealed a collection of 43 pocket timepieces which had been used as the minimum number of people murdered by Captain Louis Hutchinson. Over the period 1768 to 1773, that's what happened. Now, in his will, he left £100 to produce an epitaph reading, "Their sentence, pride, and malice I defy, despite their power, and like a Roman die." The epitaph was never published, but the ruins of Edinburgh Castle, with the loopholes in several walls, remain near the road from Claremont to Vermahollis, a grim reminder of the mad Scotsman of St. Anne. Let's come a little closer now to let's go to 1968. The Board of Governors. Let's tell you about that after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature High Pro Food Independence. High Pro Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's High Pro Food Independence every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. High Pro Food Independence is sponsored by High Pro.
Que hora es en español? Son las 4:16 Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4h16.现在几点了？4点16分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. So here's the bit of history we were attempting to share before the break. The Board of Governors of the Institute of Jamaica on this day in 1968 made its first posthumous Gold Musgrave Medal Award to the late Roger Mays, author, poet, playwright, painter, and journalist, for his contribution to the development of literature. In fact, I had the pleasure and the privilege of meeting Roger Mays' nephew. That's as close as I got to Roger Mays himself, his nephew, in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, back in 2012 it was, and attended an event at the home of Ed and Shirley Chang in Coquitlam. Let me see if I'm getting it right. Coquitlam, or maybe in America they would say Coquitlam. We can double check the pronunciation, but it's Coquitlam in British Columbia, Canada. And he is residing here in Jamaica, and he says the second most important reason he's here is to have Roger Mays declared a national hero before he dies. And the gentleman is Martin, otherwise known as Marty. That's Roger Mays' nephew. So he says, I have been distracted from this mission by COVID and other priorities. However, I'm anxious to connect with anyone who may be able to assist. I've been attempting to contact some people of similar interest, like Valerie Facey, Professor Edward Baugh, and Mervyn Morris et al. However, due to my extended absence from the island, connecting with people has been challenging, especially with the older folks. I am told that people like P.J. Patterson and Arnold Scree Bertram may have known him since they also attended Calabar, but I don't know how to reach them. I've been communicating, and he shares with us information with those he has been communicating with as well. We'll be happy. We need to give him a call at the earliest opportunity to follow up. Yeah, we're delinquent. We should have followed up before now. So that was a connection we made there with Roger Mays, who was accorded a posthumous Gold Musgrave Medal. And let's see, this one says, this is 1972. Francis Goldsworthy, pioneer lending librarian, who started the first free lending library in Mandeville, Manchester during the early 1930s, and which was the foundation of the Jamaica Library Service, died at her home, Wimplewoods, on the Decartret Road in Mandeville. She was awarded the Bronze Musgrave Medal in 1963 for her contribution to science and art. So, Jamaica's first free library was established in Mandeville, Manchester. I used to know the year by heart. It was, I believe it was wasn't it 1938? I think it was 1938. But the information here says early 1930s, but I'm sure I've seen it because there's an easy way to remember it because the the Jamaica Library Service is as old as the first free library established in Jamaica, and therefore it should be 1938. Let's see. All right, we're seeing I'm off by 10 years. So it's 1948. 1948. I think it was 48. The Jamaica Library Service was established in 1948. It might still very well be 38, except that it wasn't the Jamaica Library Service in 1938. It was the Free Library, the Manchester Free Library, the first free library in Jamaica. I need to check. I need to check this one when I get home. Should be able to bring it up on the system here too, but I'll check this one when I get home. All right, so that's that. Some more messages. Let's see. Ricardo Porteous says, good afternoon, Dervan. To you too, Ricardo, in Glengoff, St. Catherine. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners on this marvelous Monday. Good afternoon, Velta Wilson. Lisa Brown Campbell says, Dervan, you never, in bold letters, Never. Dervan, you never miss a teachable moment. I really appreciate that. I always have to draw for my dictionary to verify if hung or hanged is appropriate. You just simplified it for me. Thank you. You're welcome. Happy to oblige. Happy to oblige. This is how I was made. This from I was a child. From I was a child. Yes. So yeah. All right. Thank you very much for those messages. Keep them coming. Let's go to the WhatsApp line and the text line. Let's see. I read that one already from Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. So let's go to this one. Caribbean. No, not that. Ricardo says, shout out to all listeners from across the world. As usual, Ricardo. This one says, good afternoon, Dervan. A few weeks ago, Mr. Biles, BOJ governor, proclaimed that there's a labor shortage in Jamaica. We would like to know the breakdown or categorizations of the areas of those shortages. Secondly, we need to know if there are plans to fill these shortages and what are those plans. Are they creating a subterfuge for plans to use immigrants from China to fill the vacancies that Jamaicans are not qualified to fill? Thirdly, how can the Minister of Education be so reticent regarding the insulting and anemic budgetary allocation the ministry over which she presides? This tells us what this current government thinks about the youth and future of our country. Let's see if we can take them one by one. I don't know. Was it Mr. Biles, Governor Biles, Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, who raised the subject about labor shortage, or was it the Prime Minister? I remember the Prime Minister saying something to that effect, but I remember declaring on radio that that will not happen. in terms of if if there is if if there is a particular technique or know-how that has evaded, for want of a better term, our entire labor force of close to 1.3 million people. If that is the case, then surely we need to bring in, if we can't find such an individual in Jamaica, to train our people to be able to operate whatever sophisticated machinery or systems, processes, etc. In fact, that is how it's supposed to be. When we invite foreigners to Jamaica or foreign investors to Jamaica, we want to ensure that they don't just come in and do what they know is supposed to be done and then leave, but that knowledge that they have, that expertise that they have, is used to train our people to create a cadre, a core of individuals with the requisite skills and talents to be able to serve this country. But not a situation where you come here, you set up a system and you earn millions and you go back to wherever and that's it, and our people would not have benefited. No. And it's the same thing with the construction of the highways. We're supposed to have our own people on these sites. As it is, we have seen that for the most part, working alongside these technical minded individuals from other countries. So that's really how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. So this business of shortage of labor, what is clear, in my short time on this earth, I've never seen advertisements in my short time on this earth, advertisements, bold advertisements on shop windows, on store windows, we're hiring, workers wanted or needed, or however they put it out there. So they're obviously a combination of COVID-19, the war between Russia and the Ukraine, and supply chain disruptions and all the other things. So kind of turning they have turned the world upside down, to borrow the line from that Jimmy Cliff song, World Upside Down. So there might very well be a shortage, but we still have unemployed people in Jamaica. We need to get them to work. And employment starts with our people. Unless you have a 1 in a million person who we can't find in Jamaica to do that kind of work. And even then, we're going to contract you to train our people so that we can do the work ourselves. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Whatever seems to be.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:30. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:30. 现在几点了？4:30 4:30 in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, to complete the rest of this message in terms of responding to the points raised. Secondly, we need to know if there are plans to fill these shortages and what are those plans. Are they creating a subterfuge for plans to use immigrants from China? Well, there are those who are already here. And in fact, the business operators, private sector, have demonstrated a love for the work or the work ethic of the Chinese laborers who are here in Jamaica. And so they're building not just public infrastructure, but a lot of the private buildings that you see going up across the country. The Chinese are involved on those projects. So what we have to ensure is that our people are learning the latest building techniques and technologies so that we can continue on our own to build long-lasting infrastructure, or at least infrastructure that is pliable, that is flexible, and can be restored or otherwise repaired or rehabilitated appropriately. Let's see. So that's the second part of your message. And the third part, you're asking, how can the Minister of Education be so reticent regarding the insulting and anemic budgetary allocation, the ministry over which he presides? Education, this debate has been raging, where the feeling is, or the belief is, that if we pump more resources into education, we will build less prisons, if any at all, and we will find that we have a more harmonious society. But of course, if those resources are not properly channeled, then it turns out to be just talk. If those resources are not properly and effectively employed in furtherance of that end, which is to have a first-class education system. It's not going to happen anytime soon. It's going to take some time. Because considering all that has been built, both physically, emotionally, mentally, all the other elements. Now you are going to try to uproot that in a way that is supposed to be liberating and with a greater level of advancement. All of that is going to take time. All of that. We need regular updates from Professor Orlando Patterson's team and the sub-teams, etc. Let's see. This tells us that this current government thinks what this government thinks about the youth and future of our country. Yeah, well, the government, I'm sure, will tell you that they are for the youth, and the Prime Minister will tell you that a demonstration of that is Heart Trust NSTA, or the Heart NSTA Trust, being under his portfolio, etc., etc. But of course, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and those who are appointed just need to serve the best way they know how, or the best way they can, for the benefit of Jamaica and Jamaicans. and by his deeds shall a man be known. So you wouldn't need to tell us what you have done or what you're doing. We're supposed to be able to see it, feel it, touch it, and know that it is there. It is happening. It is happening. Right. Thank you for your message. This one says, Dervan, those so-called comrades who are acting on behalf of the leadership of the PNP are trying to do a disservice to Jamaica. The PNP can't be seeing a change in the political winds because of the perception or otherwise of corruption surrounding the leader of the JLP, and react by putting forward people whose integrities are in as parlous a state to lead the PNP from Crocs in Black River. Sounds like he is saying, no better herring, no better barrel. Maybe we're reading too much into it, but this let's see how it all plays out when an election is called, because that's always the thing. No matter what politicians say or do, no matter what supporters say or do, in the final analysis, first of all, it's about those who are registered to vote, because you can't vote if you're not registered to vote. So you have to be, first of all, registered to vote. And that's one step. The other step is to actually go out and vote. Because a lot of people, the electorate, what's our electorate? What's that? Is it 1.8 million or something like that? So they are registered voters, but for whatever reason, they don't turn out. They don't go out to vote. And so we get what we get after that. But let's see what will happen. In the final analysis it's what each voter does when they go behind that screen to cast their ballot. It's what they do when they go to vote. So we will see how it all plays out. We will see. This one, let me see. Let's go up the line here. All right, Rohan has been holding for a while, for 9 minutes, and he was on earlier on while we were starting the program in that half an hour. So here's your opportunity now, Rohan. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling back.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all the listeners.
Good afternoon.
Well, I just got to say my condolences to the security officer that's lost his life today, and the circumstances where there was robber.
Yes.
And two of them was injured, and one of them succumbed to his wound. So his family, friends, and co-worker, just want to wish them all the best in this time. And also the person who first to him, I just wish them all the best. And we pray for them in our prayers.
Amen
so
to
I'm
that.
Sorry to hear of that unfortunate situation, because it could be anybody as a security officer out there in the field,
True.
So I hope something like this don't happen again. I hope this one, since it's happened already, I hope this one will be the last one.
Yeah, we need to be more prepared than we have ever been. We have been talking about the coming wave of robberies on this program, that it, as my late mother would say, "Ano something go, a something come." We have talked about it, and it therefore means we have had some lead time to put in place certain procedures to minimize the level of exposure to the criminality. But we don't want to dwell on that right now. There are people who are mourning, and we want to condole with them and to keep in our thoughts and prayers the family, friends, colleagues, neighbors of the deceased.
And also the one in hospital, I just wish her a speedy recovery.
Yes.
I got to understand it's not life-threatening, but we just wish that person come out as soon as possible. and get on back in his life. And the other two that was mistakenly shot by the police, I wish them all the best also.
That was it's quite a bizarre incident. Quite bizarre. Quite bizarre. That begs. I think Indicom is on the case already. Quite bizarre.
Well, I hope some good will prevail from it.
Yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm.
We people out there, we speculate, but I just hope the law take its course and all the best prevail from that incident that took place. I think yesterday or early this morning.
Early this morning, yes.
So yes, sorry to hear about it, and I hope something like that, as I said before, don't happen again.
And so
one life is too many to be lost at this time.
That's right.
And also the person who are driving on the road, have to slow down a bit. Look out for each other, because over the last few days, well, the weekend to yesterday, which yesterday was also a part of the weekend. I guess it's 8 persons lost their life.
Approximately, yes.
3 in St. Mary, yes. And when I saw it on the social media, it was not good look. I don't know if you saw it already, but it was not good look.
No, not.
You can see that speeding is contribute to that accident.
Yeah, well, the experts can tell us that they have experts who can narrow down the cause of crash using technologies that they have these days. So let's see what comes out of it.
The condition of the accident, the car, the taxi, seems as if it's speeding. So I just assume at this time.
Well, let's.
Hope it turn out not to be speeding.
Let's see.
So thank you, sir, and all the best. And as I said before, safe travel back home also.
Thank you very much for the call. All the best.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com. Another question, a follow-up question, someone in Florida, I think that's a Florida number. So are Jamaican engineers going to finish the rest of the roads? Well, we'll find out. We can ask at the earliest opportunity. The not Vando, what's his name? Going back in time now. Stephen Shaw. Stephen Shaw is in a position, or maybe could be in a position, to tell us, if even in a cursory way. Let's see. Cuban in Georgia always has a lot to say. He says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Is our library service being given a facelift in the 14 parishes of Jamaica? And are those old buildings getting an upgrade soon? I don't know the old buildings of which you speak. Tom Redcombe Library is in good shape from what I've seen. The St. Anne's Parish Library, from what we know and we have seen, seems to be in good shape. Which other libraries we've visited? So I'm not sure. You'll have to be more specific, Cuban in Georgia. And asking, and are those library services available to the public and senior citizens can easily access them? As far as we know, there's a ramp or there are a couple of ramps at Tom Redcombe Library. So wheelchair-bound users should, we wouldn't have a problem entering that building or the others I have seen. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness. Your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-4112 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's Powering Your Health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. This and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 14. 现在几点了？5点加14分. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Continuing with more messages from Cuban in Georgia. He's asking, is the Prime Minister hiding himself from the voters? Because if he wasn't hiding, he would have heard the complaints and concerns regarding local government elections. Well, he has heard. He knows what is happening. So that must be a rhetorical question then, Cuban in Georgia. Next thread of messages from Cuban in Georgia. The whole world hears the cry coming from the people of Jamaica, but instead the administration busy trying to suppress Jamaica democracy. The question is, are they succeeding? Cuban in Georgia, what do you think? This one says, I'm thinking about your response regarding the 5 bikers. What I understand from what you said is that Jamaica this manana nothing if we have a pothole on a meager road like that road. This is not no back road, but nothing because this is Jamaica. I'm sorry, I can't help you in terms of your interpretation. Your interpretation is way off the mark. And if you were listening keenly, you would understand what we're saying. And if you knew, only if you knew, in fact, we haven't even said the half yet, only if you knew. So we are going to move on from there. Maybe you could ask for a copy of the tape and you can listen back and try to process. Because that kind of language is not even mine. If you're going to imitate me, you have to get it right. Because I myself imitate people. I do imitations, do voices. So you have to get it right. You've gotten it wrong, my friend. Thanks for your message anyway. Take care. And that is from, is that Yagaro? Really, Yagaro? Really? It's really you? You have to come better than that, man. Please. You have to come better than that. Let's continue. This one says, this is from Salah. Another message from Salah. He says, Dervan, I don't know what is it Crocs in Black River is saying. The PNP leader name never called in any corruption. He can't be mixed up. Our leader of the PNP, he can't be mixing up our leader of the PNP with those of the JLP. Salah from Kingston. Well, once you're in politics, it's inescapable that people are always going to say that the whole of the politicians are like that. All the politicians are. Most of the politicians are like, etc. And they broad brush everybody. So the broad brushing is inescapable as well. The broad brushing is inescapable. It's one of those things. You get swept up into it. Because especially when people are angry, upset, disturbed, you get it. Yep. All right, let's see. Those are the WhatsApp messages. Here's a message. Good afternoon, Dervan. A few weeks ago, Mr. Biles, didn't we read this one already? Yes, we read that. Apparently, this person sent us messages, both the same message, both on WhatsApp and the text line. Let's see. Let's go. Crocs has sent a follow up. Let's see what he's saying. He says, I did not say the present leader is corrupt. I said they want to replace him with corrupt people. Oh, I see what Crocs is saying now. I hear you loud and clear. And I trust you have adequate evidence to be able to come to that position with respect to a potential replacement. I see what you mean. We hear you loud and clear, Crocs in Black River. Thank you very much for the clarity. And sorry if any aspect of that was misinterpreted. But we get the point you're making. Thank you very much for the message. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We still have a few minutes to go to take more of your messages and your calls. So feel free, 876-922-4112 This one says, this is from Natalie, just popped up. What is she saying now? Let's see how everything goes, Dervan. Jamaica is a very interesting place. By the way, that's an overworked expression. Interesting. Just remember this, is if everything is interesting, nothing is interesting. If everything is beautiful, nothing is beautiful. So we want to try to narrow down our expressions. So if you're, I don't want to start a session right now because we're close to the end, but essentially you want to be more precise in the use of the language so that very interesting, but you can't leave it there because that doesn't tell us anything. It doesn't tell us anything. So you would need to put some more meat on the bone. See, we're just saying, we're just sharing, Natalie. We've learned some things and we're sharing. So thank you very much, Natalie, for your message and all the very best. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Junior Jabari says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Junior Jabari. He says, Dervan, is the PM back from Haiti as yet? I don't know, Junior Jabari. I don't know. Guess we'll find out at some point. Don Marie Smith says, good evening, sir. Still afternoon here in Jamaica. Good afternoon to you, Don Marie Smith. Good to have you on board, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And we're almost out of time. But can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 27th of February, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5, for another in our series of RGR Gleaner Communications Group cross-country broadcasts, this time in the heart of Ocho Rios St. Anne, right by the clock in Ocho Rios St. Anne. That's where we are scheduled to be at the Total gas station in Ocho Rios Square. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Whatever seems to be your destination, take life the way it comes. Take life the way it is. Horizon in the distance, so close, and yet so far away. You shouldn't be surprised when on arrival dream has flown away and fear's not here to stay. Never gives away a promise. It's a highway or a dead street. Dead street. Raindrops on your windscreen. They fall from heaven or from hell. You drive into the light or into darkness. Uncertainty as your guide. The road ahead will never give away a promise. It's a highway or dead street. Never answers any questions. Nothing is sure along the way. Not even tomorrow. It's paved with miles of the unknown. Whatever seems to be your destination, take life the way it comes. Take life the way it is.
Bye.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.